was premeditatedly murdered on Fort Bliss. That's in July of 2020. And so many things have been happening, doing a lot of talking. So, and I'm not going to stop now. We're going to keep going. Had a great day. Um, Lots of things were pointed out. A lot of the art of the deals are going on. Okay. The art of the deal is going on. And, it would be a beautiful world if the law was followed, right? If the law was followed. But we know from the very beginning it wasn't followed. You don't eat from that tree. Otherwise, this is going to happen. It's the art of the deal, even from Eden, the art of the deal all the way through. It's always been happening all through life. And so in this case, it's no different, even when it is about our son, whistleblower on Fort Bliss, biggest case, the Iran-Contra. We months ago, we did an analysis on because someone had told us that Richard's case is bigger than Iran-Contra, and we were like blown away. And so we did like a little analysis and turned into a big analysis. And absolutely, the Iran-Contra scandal pales in comparison to our son's case. Pales. And even in a case like this, where so many people, there's going to be the art of the deal. And so that's what's going on right now. And thank you, God, that we have someone in office that is even coherent enough to participate in the art of the deal and not be just led around, And I'm not saying that that's not attempting to happen. All the information that we're getting, it is tough. It is tough. It is really tough because we're talking about billions and billions of dollars. We're talking about cartels here. We're talking about the El Paso cartel. That's what I call it, the El Paso cartel, that have infiltrated our beautiful military installations, and in this case, Fort Bliss, the El Paso cartel, and harming so many. So let me make sure that I'm on. Maybe make sure that I'm live. So I was staying in the spirit today with the Christmas spirit, delivering some Christmas cookies. It's like a very, anybody that knows our family, it's like a tradition. We love to make these Christmas cookies, all different kinds. Of course, they're mainly German, Gebäck. So they're a little bit different than American Christmas cookies. We like American Christmas cookies too. We try all kinds of different things. And then, of course, you can't eat all of it. You have the fun making it. And so then we find different ways of decorating the cookies, different plates or little boxes or a little sled. Last year was a little sled. And this year was a little gingerbread house. And then, making your neighborhood merry by sharing the cookies. And it was just really the positive feedback that I received today was so amazing. And I just want to tell my neighborhood, thank you. Thank you so much for supporting us. It's, there's been a lot going on. And so, they have been just absolutely amazing. And, so it was really good to get out there and, share a little bit of the Christmas spirit with them. So, but in all of that, other things were happening as well. So, and the focus, of course, is on Bill Hicks because of the institutions having enough of Bill Hicks. Now, we have warned people for over a year about Bill Hicks, about what our open records had, confirmed. That we didn't know that Bill Hicks was scheming with Justin Underwood and Bob Moore of El Paso Matters to listen to this, to void an election, because that's what they did. They were scheming. How could they take down a duly elected district attorney, and in this case, Yvonne Rosales? How could they do it? Omar Carmona helped. Um, Joe Spencer helped. The media helped. They absolutely. The imposter, Penny Hamilton, helped. Um, Aided in all this. And I mean, this is so criminal. It's so criminal. And so the open records opened up a can of worms of their scheming to take down a duly elected district attorney. And that is a very pivotal moment in our son's case, because we know that Yvonne Rosales was looking into our son's case, and she was looking into. She had admitted this in the press. El Paso Community Foundation for their seemingly fraudulent, and of course, we know it was fraudulent, the fraud of the distribution of the Walmart victims funds. And so I think, because that was $12 million in that fund, over $12 million in that fund. And, who got that money? Who got that money? The people should know that. And so they don't want you to know. They don't want you to know who received portions of the $12 million. Who got the big portions? Who got the little portions? We know. Hold on, I have a low battery. So, yeah, we absolutely know that she was looking into that. And she also mentioned that she was looking into a date for the Walmart mass shooting to go to trial. And so there were, there was a panic. There was an absolute panic because we know now through our investigation, through the audio tapes that we have, and we've given this to the media. We've given the media our open records that show that not only was Bill Hicks scheming to remove and replace a duly elected district attorney, but when he was appointed, he did not install properly, which makes his position null and void. Null and void. We have the rule of law in this country. We have the rule of law, the Texas statutes, the Texas Constitution, and he did not follow them. And this is a district attorney, y'all, a prosecutor. He absolutely knows the law, and yet he did not follow the law to be installed properly, and went as far as, and we have the documents, we have the proof, right? We have the audios. We have the audio proof. We have the audios of Joe Spencer. We have this evidence, and we have been giving it to the media. And the media has sat on it, which is so criminal. It's so criminal. So if it wasn't for Team Fine Richard Halliday reporting on this, uh, you know, we're the ones that have to let the officials know what the heck is going on, because the media has failed. The media has failed. And the alternative media, it is no accident. It is not a surprise that the alternative media is rising, and that the established media is in real trouble, right? So we a year ago let everyone know that we had been informed, and it wasn't just us, okay? This is Team Farm Richard Halliday. This is some real government watchdogs, Texas government watchdogs, that absolutely care about the rule of law and what's going on, and alerted us to open records. We absolutely, we were just getting dribbles of open records, and so we had plenty of time to read through them. Now we're getting volumes of open records, so we're doing extra time in reading. But it was very clear that Bill Hicks not only schemed, not only failed to sign the anti-bribery line, which is a statement of officer. He failed to do that before his oath of office, which is, makes his oath of office void. He has to say that he is accepting this position without being bribed before he takes the oath of office. And he didn't do that. And so his position is null and void. And then I think this is like a little process, or a little scheme that these officials do that are compromised, is that they'll do the oath of office, and then they'll go, oh, yeah, I'll sign the anti-bribery line now, which legally then makes that null and void, because it has to be done before they do the oath of office. So then if they do it after and delayed, then that makes it null and void. And so they're not going to be held accountable if later on they're found to have lied and truly had taken a bribe. And then you have a little problem. The problem with Bill Hicks was not their little scheme to, after his oath of office, to sign the anti-bribe line, but that he waited too long to do it, and then the Senate was in session. And that would mean that he would have to be scrutinized, that he would have to be scrutinized for his past, right? That they would have to look at his record before he could take the oath of office. Sorry, my phone restarted. Yeah, that, think about that. So he didn't want the Texas Senate to have to look at his record, because his record is so bad, y'all. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's like, who in the heck would appoint this man? He is so bad. And and so it was a recess appointment where no one would have to look, no one would have to care. And so what they did then is he went back and messed with the timestamp. So he signed it, but messed with the timestamp to January 11th. I believe it was January 11th. So here he is, December 21st, 22, taking the oath, and the timestamp on the anti-bribe line was January 11th, but the emails have it as January 26th. So there is some real fraud going on there. But the unbelievable thing is that no matter what, he did not sign it before the oath of office, which is required by the Texas Constitution, which makes sense. And I'm just going into my Facebook, and sorry, make sure that I'm on so I can see comments. There you go. Okay, make sure this is turned down. So so no matter what, his DA is null and void. And so now you have Judge Ferguson saying that there is systemic prosecutional misconduct with the 34th Judicial District Attorney's Office. Well, they don't even have a DA. They don't even have a legitimate DA. So, of course, there's going to be problems, right? And now think about it, all the cases that were okay. What is the problem in several cases? I think it's 5 cases that they list. Evidence and information was withheld. Sounds familiar. Sounds familiar. And so these defendants had to make choices that really their civil rights were violated. Their civil rights were violated. And so Bill Hicks is absolutely criminal for keeping maybe even exculpatory evidence from them. So information, materials from them that could help them. He is absolutely so criminal. So that office, under his usurpation, because that's what he is, he's a usurper. So under his usurpation, if you want to call him an imposter, you can do that too. If you want to call him an impersonator, you can do that too. But you can't call him a DA because he's not a DA. He did not sign the anti-bribe line. And matter of fact, I'll put up that song that turned out so well to let everyone know. And now we have a judge, we have the institutions that are sick and tired of his misconduct, his lawlessness, him hurting people. He hurts people, right? He hurts people. He hurts families. And so he's, I don't know who's going to be arrested first, him or Leilani Hart. I don't know. Maybe another person. There's several. We have a lot of stuff, a lot of complaints, and that active and ongoing investigations. So now with this coming out in the news, it absolutely shows that we've been right all along. For over a year, the media has been derelict in their duty, and so many families have been hurt by it. And so all of these families, these 5 families in particular, and us 6 families, we can go back now to the media and we can say, you had this information from Team Find Richard Halliday, from the Gold Star family of Richard Halliday, from the Gold Star family of Richard Halliday. You've had the evidence that shows that he is not even a rightful DA, that he schemed, that he manipulated timestamps, which is tampering with official documents, that he did this, that Bill Hicks is guilty of this, or really, seemingly, apparently, really, evidence proves that this is going on. And you are just keeping quiet. You're sitting on this, letting people get hurt. I think they're implicated in some of that pain, right? I think they're implicated in some of this pain. And to see Trump get $15 million was very sweet. It was very sweet because the media needs to be held accountable for sitting on this material, sitting on the fact that Richard was a whistleblower, that he was a whistleblower before the Walmart mass shooting, that the Walmart mass shooting was a diversion, that the Walmart mass shooting was bloody, and it was absolutely not with the narrative that they, gave us, that they lied to us, that it was orchestrated, that Patrick Crusius wasn't working by himself, that Patrick Crusius has a severe mental health condition. He has autism so bad that when he was 3 years old, he was banging his head on the concrete on the sidewalk, that his neighbors knew it, that plenty of information was out there, that they could have reported on it because he was in special education, and he was in special education where the special ed teacher even had difficulties with him because they were putting him off in a corner or in a special space because he would start hitting himself, and that he absolutely does not have the mental capacity or probably the physical dexterity to pull off any kind of shooting like that, right? That they had all that information, they had access to that information, the media did, and they did not let the public know that Richard was a whistleblower, that there were audits and investigations going on Fort Bliss because of Halliday. That information was out there. That information was there when we were there in 2020. And they did not share that the Walmart mass shooting covered up Richard's truth, that he was a whistleblower, that he was whistleblowing that was connected to the weapons trafficking in his unit, and that unit and their trafficking is connected to the Walmart mass shooting, and that absolutely his platoon leader, Dallas Hart, is the son of Leilani Hart, who was tampering with Richard's file after he was dead. But listen to this. Richard was murdered in July of 2020, the same month, just days apart. Leilani Hart, the mother of Dallas Hart, submitted a notarized affidavit confessing to the most extreme offenses: child porn, possession of child porn, failure to report on family abuse at the worst kind, with the children, that a child in her house was put upon in the worst way in her master bedroom by multiple members of her household, that her household was engaged in illegal weapon purchasing, that she has she's an immigration violator. So much That's all in that notarized affidavit. And guess what? The CID accepted it. The FBI accepted it. It was referred to the FBI by the CID and it was, yes, and the FBI accepted it. And what has happened? Why has she not been arrested? No matter what, she confessed, and lying to a a federal agent is also a crime. All of that needed to be reported. All of that needed to be, well, no matter what, she had to be arrested. And it was the same month she submitted that notarized affidavit confession, the same month that Richard, just days apart, maybe the timeline, the timeline. But we know just days apart, she submitted that. And she's the mother of the prime suspect in Richard's murder, when we know, and it's been confirmed, that Richard's unit was engaged in weapons and ammunition trafficking, that is connected to the Walmart mass shooting. We know that. And that is seemingly connected to the Santa Teresa International Jetport Airport. That is connected to the aircraft, that their aircraft numbers, designated numbers, identification numbers, and the pilots' names were tampered with on the logs, the flight logs, and that it was the same. It's connected to Ismael El Mayo Zapata, and El Chapo's son, who were seemingly framed to get on that plane. And that's connected, seemingly, to the transport of Richard's remains. And apparently, well, we won't go to that one. But I will say this. How is it that Ismael El Mayo Zapata's lawyer, Ray Velarde, was the lawyer that was assigned, the same Ray Velarde was assigned to Richard when he was being retaliated against for being a whistleblower for trafficking? And what is El Mayo? What is he? He is a trafficker, a narcotics trafficker who needs weapons and ammunition, especially ammunition. And then the connection with the hundreds of thousands of unaccompanied children. That means they were taken. There's not hundreds of thousands of unaccompanied children. Only if they're taken. Only if they're taken. Processed through, registered through Fort Bliss. And where are they? Mostly dead. Now, I don't know if our government agencies, who have a lot of compromised individuals in there, have enough fortitude, enough fear of God to break this open. But I can tell you this, everything is coming out whether they want it or not. Because the stars in their course fought against Sisera. They can't stop it. They can't stop the truth from getting out. The lies always catch up. It's just the way things are. And that's why, with patience, more and more people come out, expose what's going on. One piece of puzzle here, one piece of puzzle there, and it all starts fitting together. And it's very, very clear what has happened. And some of these individuals are so used to lying constantly. Their whole life, everything is a lie. Everything. They're so used to that's the way they make their money is lying. They just lie and lie and lie. We've been so lied to. And I'll tell you this is breaking news. And it's all going to catch up to them. But we have now we've been notified that there are audio recordings that confirm that Major General Sean Bernabe, who's now a Lieutenant General, was up to no good, ordering obstruction in Richard's case. That we know that. We know because we were there when he was lying to us, which is obstruction. He lied to our face. He lied to our face about Nadal Bayim. He lied to our face about our son. He was going to come to our home here in South Carolina to lie to our face about our son. He absolutely knew that our son had been murdered, which the DOD has now confirmed, that he was murdered on Fort Bliss, which the DOD has now confirmed. He absolutely knew. But to have audio recording is good to have. Is good to have. So that's more evidence against Sean Bernabe, who needs to be stripped from his uniform, stripped of every benefit, stripped of those stars. We cannot let him be in our military, in our uniform, when he is a traitor, an absolute lawless traitor. He cannot be there over our sons and daughters, commanding over our sons and daughters, when he is such a traitor, a liar, in the worst way. Lawless. And he must be held accountable for his treachery, because it's treachery. So, and we know it. So to balance what we're learning, we're very grateful for the holiday season, the beautiful music, the beautiful gifts. Thank you so much for the beautiful gifts, and you know who I'm talking to. Thank you so much for the beautiful music, for the beautiful lights, for the message of love through that gift. Um, we are absolutely grateful for our family and this time. I just am so great that things are cyclical in God's world, that we have Christmas every year, that we have Easter every year, that we have these beautiful times um, that come around, that force us to be giving, that force us to be happy, that force us to listen to beautiful music. And I don't I a force is maybe not the right word. Maybe remind us, comfort ye my people, comfort ye my people, saith our God. Um, you know, but to read the stories of hope, read the stories of um the angels in the heavens that came down, the army of angels that came down and had to say, "Fear not," because it was just so amazing. And, if you're a lonely shepherd, you might like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? And can you imagine what that must have been like? Because I absolutely believe in angels. I absolutely do. I believe that the stars are sentient. Um, they're amazing. So it is just it just puts a skip in your walk when you are up against these liars, these lawless, but they're lawless, you see. They're just lawless, and so and they're liars, and you just have to um call them out. You just have to be willing to be fearless, and it is a risk, but what are you risking? They're going to walk all over you and walk all over your children and um, make the world a worse place. I'm not going to let them do that. We live on a beautiful world, in a beautiful world. So, is the Trump administration, the FBI, is the Department of Justice, is the Department of State, is the ATF, is the DEA, is the DHS, and on, CBP, are they going to step up in this time of the Trump administration? And, you know, to, you know, let's just say, I think it's going to be an art of the deal. An art of the deal. And our terms are, we want our son's remains. We want those that are responsible for the murder and cover up of the murder of Richard to be held accountable. And we would like the key whistleblower that exposed Leilani Hart and CID Tavita Nusa, that was retaliated against, the key whistleblower that was retaliated against unjustly by the media with an unreliable source. Leilani Hart, the very individual that he was whistleblowing, reporting officially in his official capacity as a judge, retaliated against him. The media did that The media did that, and we believe that they need to be held accountable. But our terms are that he gets a magnificent appointment because he can do the rest. So, and that's Judge Roger Rodriguez. So, he can do the rest. But the only MAGA judge in El Paso County, and I'll hold firm with that. We did some analysis on that, and it's been long to say what we're saying because of analysis and also because of administrations under the Biden administration. You're really risking it's you don't know who you're dealing with, right? I mean, where is Biden? Where is Harris? You don't know who you're dealing with, right? So at least under the Donald Trump's administration, you know who you're dealing with. And so those are our terms. And we have plenty of evidence. And now with Judge Ferguson coming out telling us we're right, the Hallidays have been right. I mean, he didn't say that, but by saying that there's systemic prosecutorial misconduct by Bill Hicks's office is huge. And that is very helpful because we're right. We're right. And that means that the media has been derelict in their duty. And I think they're implicated in that. I think tell me if there's a law. I mean, you see what happened now with ABC, right? They have to pay the 15 million, isn't it? ABC, 16 million, I think. So, yeah, they're in big trouble. And then with Leilani Hart and the FBI being derelict in their duty, why is she not arrested? Why is that not being reported on? That's huge. So I'm glad I was able to come on a little bit earlier tonight. Just yeah, thank you. So thank God, thank God, and thank you for coming on. Thank you, Anicia, for coming on, and please share. We've been getting a lot of feedback, and we're very grateful for that. All that information that's coming in, especially about the Santa Teresa uh, International Jetport Airport. That is very important. And if you have information on that, please don't hesitate to call us 941-677-0060. And we're still going, and I'll be back tomorrow, God willing. Thank you so much. Stay in the